Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. You may remember a little while ago I reviewed 3 Addiesdive watches, and in that video I promised to put them through their paces inside of Herman. If you don't know who or what Herman is, it's my water pressure tester. It can test up to 60 meters, or the equivalent of 60 meters of pressure. So it's not going to be perhaps the most vigorous test when it comes to dive watches, but I think testing watches inside of Herman will give us some indication as to whether or not you can swim with these watches. And I've now tested all 3 watches and I'm going to show you the results. I thought I'd test the 200 meter diver first. This is a quartz powered, very affordable Addiesdive watch with a 200 meter water resistant rating. So you would expect this watch to be able to cope with a dunk inside of Herman, but then you do have to also remember it's a super affordable watch. So I don't think any of us would be that surprised if actually it failed. And I did the standard test where I increased the pressure with the watch above the water. That's going to force excess air inside the watch if there's a breach or a leak. And then after 5 minutes or so, you drop the watch into the water and release the pressure. What you're looking for here is, well, some sort of mini implosion, which does happen. Sometimes a crystal will pop out. Sometimes there'll be a fairly dramatic release of bubbles. Normally with divers like this, there's quite a lot of little nooks and crannies for air to get trapped, so you are expected to see anything between 15 and 25 bubbles, small bubbles released. So it is one of those tests where you have to sort of interpret the results, but I've done quite a lot of these now and I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, this watch did pass the test with flying colours. Great news. I then tested the Sand Dune Dial Garter. This is an automatic watch with 100 meters of water resistance. I repeated the test. I increased the pressure while the watch was above the water. Then after 5 minutes or so, I dropped the watch into the water, slowly released the pressure, and again, I wasn't seeing any excess bubbles. I was only seeing what I would have expected to see, which again, as far as I'm concerned, is a pass. But then last but not least, I tested what I consider to be probably the most impressive Addiesdive watch I've gotten my hands on, a quartz powered GMT. This thing is unbelievably affordable. It recently appeared in a finishing comparison video, and the steel finishing on this watch blew my mind. In places, it was comparable to the San Martin that I also featured in that video, and I just was not expecting the finishing to be that good on this watch. Anyway, today we're testing the water resistance. Again, I did the same test, increased the pressure while the watch was above the water, waited 5 minutes, dropped the watch into the water and slowly released the pressure. And again, I wasn't seeing any excess bubbles. I was just seeing what I would have expected to see in terms of just a few small bubbles being released here and there. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, 3 passes out of 3, which is incredible news.